Good morning, ma'am. My name is Ryza ma'am, BS1 from Mindanao State University Main Campus with the Ryza Extension. And for today, I am going to demonstrate on how we properly transfer and transport client. But before I begin, let me provide some brief context about transferring and transporting client. So, by the definition, transferring and transporting client is a process of moving the client from one location to another, such as either it is within a facility, such as from bed to wheelchair, or in other location. And for the purpose, it is to ensure the client's safety and comfort while moving and prevents the injuries from both the client and the healthcare provider. And for the equipment, we do need a water, liquid soap, towel, a paper towel for hand washing, and for transporting, we do need a transporting board and a wheelchair. And for the considerations that we need to remember before, during, and after the procedure, before the procedure, we must ensure that we apply proper hygiene, and we do sanitize our hands before we communicate with a client, and gather the equipment needed. And during the procedure, we must monitor the client's conditions and ensure the stability and use of the proper lifting techniques. Then after the procedure, we must ensure the client comfort and also confirm the safety measures and monitor the client. And for the documentations, document after the findings, after the procedure, first is document the findings, the client's conditions before, during, and after the transferring and transporting, and any incident or complications encountered. And by the procedure, first we must identify the client and explain the procedure. This ensures the correct identifications of the client and gain consent, promoting a cooperation. Then next is perform hand washing and apply gloves if necessary. This to prevent contaminations and the spread of infection. Then next is close the door or curtains. This provides for the privacy and for the dignity of the patient during the procedure. Then for assisting the client to sitting positions on bed, first is adjust the bed at an appropriate height and comfortable working height where it prevents the strain on the caregiver back and ensures the client's comfort. Then next is place client flat on bed or as low as the client can tolerate, with arms lie on the side and the palms facing downwards. This is to ensure the safety and stable positions for the movement and minimize the movement and strain on the client. Then next is place a pillow on the head of the bed and remove all other pillow. This is to provide head support while allowing the unrestricted movement. Then as the client is able to bend his or her legs and put his or her feet flat on the bed and to assist for the movement, is to engage the client in the transfer, reducing the strain on the caregiver. Then next is position yourself at the client's midsections with your feet spread and the shoulder wide apart and one foot slightly in front of the other. This to establish a stable stance or balance and the proper body mechanics. And next is place your arm that is nearest to the client's shoulder over the client's shoulders, resting between the shoulder blades. This to place the other hand near the edge of the bed, the client's shoulder, and this is to provide a secure grip for a controlled movement. Then push the hand as by the edge of the bed and pull the clients towards you. Assist lifting the client in a sitting position. This uses controlled motions to prevent the other shift raise the side rails, and place the bed in the lowest position. This is to promote the patient's comfort and prevents it from falling. Then next is assisting the client to sitting positions on the edge of the bed. This first is to place the bed in the lowest position, then raise the head of the bed slowly and as high as the client can tolerate. Then this is to support a gradual adaptation to an upright position, reducing dizziness. Then encourage the client to make use of a stand assisting aid attached to the side of the bed if available, to move to the side of the bed and to a side-lying position, and facing the side of the bed the client will sit on. Then turn the client facing you and place the client's lower legs and feet on the edge of the bed. This helps the client to participate in reducing the dependency. Then next is encourage the client to make use of the assisting device and assist the client to sit up on the side of the bed by lifting the client's thigh and gently turning the clients on the edge of the bed, and keep your back straight and avoid twisting. This is to reduce the risk of injury for both the clients and the caregiver. Then let the client dangle his legs on the edge of the bed. This allows for the client to adjust to a seated position and prevents dizziness. Then next is transferring the client from bed to a wheelchair. First is make sure the bed brakes are locked and put the wheelchair next to the bed facing the foot of the bed. If available, lock the brakes of the chair, and if the chair does not have brakes, brace the chair against a secure object. This prevents the movement and ensures a safety transfer. Then next is place the bed in the lowest position, then raise the head of the bed by sitting positions or as high as the client can tolerate. Lower side rails and facilitate smooth movement from bed to wheelchair. Then assist the client with side-lying positions and facing the side of the bed where the chair is. It is to prepare the client to a smooth transition. Then next is stand with legs apart, then with a 1 foot forwards near the head of the foot and near the head of the foot. This ensures a strong and balanced positions or a balanced lifting position. Then assist the client in the sitting as the edge of the bed and let legs dangle for a few minutes. This helps prevent dizziness from sitting from the bed and allows to an upright posture. Then stand facing the client and spread your feet and about shoulder wide apart and flex your hips and knees. This provides a stable stance for a controlled movement. And then position yourself as close to the client as possible. This as close to the client as possible with your foot positions on the outside of the client's foot. This to enhance stability and control during the transfer. Then next is place your hands around the client's waist and place the client one hand on your shoulder and the other hand on your waist. This is to provide a secure grip and encourage client participation. Then ask the client to slide his buttocks to the edge of the bed until he or she feels the floor. This ensures the proper positioning for a standing. Then on the count of 3, use your legs and not your back to help raise the client to a standing position. Then turn the client with his back to the chair. This prevents the back strain and ensures the safe movement. Then ask the client to walk backwards until he feels the chair with the back of his legs. Then positions the clients properly for sitting. Then tell the client to grabs the arms of the chair and gently lower the client into the chair. Flex your hips and knees when helping client sit on the chair. This ensures a controlled and descent to prevent injury. Then place feet on the footrest of the wheelchair. Make client comfortable and drip if necessary. This is to promote safety and dignity of the client. Then transferring client from wheelchair to from bed to stretcher. First is adjust the head of the bed to a flat position or as low as the client can tolerate. Then, as the client tolerates, it prepares the client for a horizontal transfer. Then raise the bed to a height half inch. Then the transport stretcher. Lower the side rails as if in place. This to align bed and stretcher for a smooth transfer. Then loosen the draw sheet or place a lifter under the client. Then roll the sheet close to the client body, and this to prepare for the safe and efficient transfer. Then next is position the stretcher next to the parallel to the bed. Lock the wheels on the stretcher and the bed. This prevents movement during the transfer. Then climb onto the mattress beside hips and buttocks of the client. Then grabs the rolled sheets by the shoulder part and hip areas of the chest. Then this provides a better control for the movement. Then on the count of 3, let the nurse standing on the stretcher side out of the bed pull the sheet, and while the nurse kneeling on the bed should lift the draw sheet. Then transferring the client weight towards the transfer board and pushing the client from bed to the stretcher. This because use team works to safety shift of the patient. Then next is remove the transfer board if used. Then raise the side rails of the structures and transfer any IVFs or IVs hold of the to the structure. This ensures the client's security and continuous IV support. Then place client comfortable on the stretcher and drip properly. This maintains a warmth and dignity and comfort of the patient. Then lastly, remove gloves and do hand washing to prevent the spread of infections and maintains hygiene. But before I begin the demonstration, let me wash my hands and wear my gloves. Madali ka lang na. Gusto lang ko kung meron na. Madali ka lang. Hindi ko kung meron pa mga mga. Ngayon naman, gagawin ko natin na pagkakagay ko ay pupupok ko, tayo dito pa. Kung natin mga, pupulan ko tayo sa expo ng iyong mga hilan po. Gawin ko natin mga ay, ilorder ko lang po ang guide ko ha. Ilang mo lang tayo. Tapos ko lang po itong head and ito. Meron na. Ngayon taas ko lang ito mga pagkakutan tayo sa side position po. Taas ko lang ito mga pagkikita ko tayo ha. Bilang po ako ito pagkikita tayo. 1, 2, 3. Kung paano mo, pinagalan ko natin ito na ganyan din ang section. Kung pinagalan ko ha, trabaho mo tayo ha, uupuan ko ito. Bilang ko tayo ng ito mo, bawa mo tayo ha. 1, 2, 3. Tapos nagdagulong ko yung mga ako ha, nagdagulong ko. Tayo naman, sa gagawin naman ko natin ma, may nilagay mo kayo sa awal ko ha. And in this procedure, yung movement ko habang nililip ko lang kayo. Yung mabilisin niyo po kami, lagyan niyo po pa sa ano ko lang para po padala sa ma-explain pagkakalit sa inyo po. So, natapos po yung ma'am, ilipat ko naman kayo mama. Ikaw mama. 1, 2, 3. Isa ba? 1, 2, 3. Isa pa. 1, 2, 3. Comfortable ka naman po, ma'am? Tama, sabihin lang tayo. Ma'am, kung yung dati mo, sabihin ko. Para po, from bed to stretcher. And now, for the last procedure, you must remove the gloves and the mask and perform hand washing. Now I'm done for my